Hello everyone. So my video today is going to be a topic that came up in a sort of a general discussion group where I encountered an individual. The talk was about war, armies, and about people having to, in order to gain citizenship, they should be in the army and that sort of thing. They should have to be in the military. But this video is not going to be about that. It's going to be about a woman who came on when I basically was talking about the draft and how the draft was sexist. Not really the draft. Having to register with the Selective Service if you're a man. And I said that that policy is blatantly sexist. And I had a woman come in and say, no, it's not. It's not sexist. There's nothing sexist about it. Men are just more fit to be in the military. I found this to be absolute fucking bullshit. And it is the kind of mentality that I encounter with usually women and some men, especially older men. And the thing is, what the discussion was about was whether or not that policy is sexist. Now, I'm going to look up the definition of sexist on my little device here. And I'm going to read the definition. Because as far as I know, sexism is discrimination, or the limiting or the requiring of things based on a person's genitals, or based on a person's sex. In the case of registering for the Selective Service, basically, at the age of 18, every person that possesses a penis must register with the Selective Service, and if there is ever a draft, they have a very high possibility of being pulled into a war, a combat situation where they stand a good chance of killing people or being killed. And now, I know we have a volunteer army and all of that, but there has been talk in the past about bringing the draft back. Now, I've always considered, I remember when I turned 17 and was hearing all this stuff about having to register when I turned 18, I thought it was kind of nonsense. I thought it was kind of unfair. Because once again, here I am, a male, and I'm having to register with something I want nothing to do with. Even when I was 16, I knew what, 16, much earlier than that, I understood what the draft was. I understood how boys and men were essentially pulled from their lives and thrown into Vietnam. And before that, they were thrown into World War I. I think World War II. I'm not certain about that. I think most of World War II were actually volunteers. But I think there were some draftees as well. Okay, well, despite the fact my wireless sender is right over there, my device is not picking up a wireless signal. Go figs. Alright, so anyways. Getting back to the draft. I personally never liked the idea of just because I was a man, or just because I was a boy, I was required to register with the Selective Service. It actually really pissed me off when I would see these ads telling you that you had to register for the Selective Service or go to jail. It's like, what? Why do I... First of all, at the time, I didn't know that Selective Service was the draft. I actually didn't know that those two were connected. I was wondering what the Selective Service actually was. Now, I registered with the Selective Service, I think, early 90s, late 80s. I forget. I know I should remember, but I forget. But the thing was, I noticed that girls did not have to register. And you know me. I find sexism in almost all of its form to be reprehensible and bullshit. And when I encounter a woman who is basically telling me that it's not sexist at all because men are more capable of fighting, we're more capable of fighting hand to hand and all that, though there are women who can fight hand to hand as well. This is something that pisses me off about our cultures, is we don't go by weight class or ability class. We go by whether a person has a penis or not. And this happens in sporting categories as well. And I keep being told, well, if you just went by that, women would never be able to compete. There are women out there who could probably kick my ass in sports. And I know there was a woman in wrestling by the name of China who was actually formidable against other male wrestlers. I don't know if she ever got in against them, but my understanding is she could wipe the floor with some male wrestlers. So all that crap about it totally being judged on whether a person's a male or a female is nonsense. Especially nowadays with the whole transgender movement of males going into female competition because they themselves, a biological male goes into competition against biological females and wiping the floor with them because the individual does have a weight advantage. Again, back to the draft, back to this woman who's telling me that it's not sexist. By definition, it is sexist because it is based upon genitalia. End of subject. That is what it's based on. All of these rules are based on genitalia. Telling me I can't wear makeup, I can't wear skirts because I'm a man, that's sexism. Telling a woman she can't play baseball, sexism. Telling a guy he can't be a nurse, sexism. Telling anyone they can't do something just because of their genitals is sexism. I wasn't even trying to say that it is right or wrong. I'm just saying it's sexist. And I had someone telling me, no, it's not. This is a problem in our culture. This is a problem with people's minds, especially older minds. They do not see the blatant sexism in something like the Selective service. To my knowledge, it's still not required for women to register with the Selective service, but they can. It used to be that they couldn't even register. The law was written in 1917 or something to that effect, when frankly women were not worth much. Yes, there was a time in this country when women were actually not worth all that much when it came to a lot of things. But I beg for people to actually look at things and understand things, and look at things by definition. By definition, to deny somebody or force somebody to do something on the basis of their genitalia. That's the definition of sexism. If you disagree, or if you agree, comment down below. I would like to know your input on this topic. That's all I have for now, and hopefully I'll get more videos out. Alright, have a good day. Bye-bye.